Kim Kardashian is in a lot of difficulty because of an app that she released in 2015 and made millions of dollars in a matter of minutes. But now there's new drama surrounding the app, and it all has to do with a lawsuit that began in 2019, and the complaint was filed against Kim Kardashian. Back in 2019, Kim was served with a lawsuit demanding at least $100 million in compensation from a software engineer who claimed she had fired him from her Kimoji app. David Leibinson was the one who filed the lawsuit against her. Censor Out was an app that Leibinson was the developer of. Because of the app, his team was able to attract Kardashian's attention. Back in 2014, the developer asserts that Kim agreed to provide their company a part of 60% of the profits from the sale of Kimojis. He said that he was left off of the trademark paperwork for the sake of expedience, but it was understood that the product was a joint venture. According to David, Kim backed down on their agreement in August of 2014, citing the fact that one of Leibinson partners had disclosed her personal information to a third party. He goes on to say that Kim used a team of attorneys in an effort to get Leibinson to drop the complaint, but despite these efforts, Leibinson is still demanding a 9-figure payment. It is important to keep in mind that on the day of the app's release, it was being downloaded at a rate of 9,000 times per second. Even though that may seem like an incredibly high number. This equates to $1 million being made every single minute. And that was only on the first day. You would think, why are we talking about this now years later? The reason why this is such a big deal right now is because David has now come out with a website that he created called KimKardashianRuinedMyLife.com, on which he is putting all of his receipts from the situation and going into full detail about what happened, claiming that Kim ruined his life and saying that he is now sleeping in his car because of this entire lawsuit, and a lot of other things. The very first thing that you see when you visit the website is a statement that reads, "Kim K ruined my life so she can have her face and butt as an emoji. At this point, I have nothing to lose now, so I'm laying out the facts. Kim committed fraud to get the Kimoji trademark plus much more." So full story of his experience is on the website as well as a few pictures. I'd had a few people ask how this left me sleeping in my car, so I should explain. I was all in financially on my projects that were at that time all including her. Complicating the situation were the demands she was making for my IP, making all the money I invested in patent to all legal fees wasted. It leveled me financially. Then a divorce and more personal issues followed. I've been sleeping in my car to save money. I never stopped thinking about what I can do to hold them accountable and get my life back. I have had a few opportunities since then, but I haven't been able to gain any traction. The looming $400K debt and the whole mess has caused a chain of events I haven't been able to dig out of yet. I spent my life busting my butt for that seed money. The lawsuit was mishandled by my ex-attorney, who added this case to his bio on his website after there was no resolution. At the end of the sh*t show lawsuit, the Kardashian team had the option to hit me with legal fees from arbitration I was never a part of somehow. They used that to threaten to take assets or garnish wages if I didn't keep my mouth shut. Now I don't care if they come after me financially. There's nothing left to take. They won't come after me for the $400K legal fees if I keep my mouth shut. Since the last attorney oddly had me voluntarily withdraw the lawsuit, I can still refile. It would just cost hundreds of thousands or more to fight. I've been told there's so many angles to this. From copyright, trademark, trade secret misappropriations, fraud, swindle, and more violations. They simply have endless funding for attorneys. The stress from this case tore my family apart. Please read the full story and share this site on your social media. And then to continue with his story about Kim Kardashian and Kris. I'm building this site on my iPhone and trying to gain momentum for this in my spare time while working 2 jobs and camping in my car. Please share. There are quite a few exhibits of evidence I'll add a whole section to this site for. Emails, texts, screenshots, original art for emojis, a recording, and over 20 individuals that had involvement and be witnesses. This all started when Kardashian was using our app we had on the Apple App Store named Censorgram. On Censorgram, you can add keywords, emojis, or phrases that you want automatically removed from your Instagram comments. Kim obviously had a need for it, She used our app and reached out to me by phone to discuss being the face as well as partner. Then a few weeks later we met and made the initial partnership agreement at Chrissy's house in Calabasas, CA. After that is when it all got weird. I lost everything while Kardashian went on to make many millions off an idea she had nothing to do with creating. She also interfered with a patent I had filed for a process that now is used by Instagram to automatically remove comments on social media. Kardashian never explained her part in this interference or why she discussed our IP with Kevin Systrom, ex-CEO of Instagram, without permission, after her and her team signed our NDA to get our patent file. At that time, Instagram had no intention of using automated comment control. Then less than 18 months after Kardashian's interference, our process is in Instagram settings. Myself or my partners received nothing for any of it. Yet. He added also a few pictures from that time, like this one about a meeting they had in Calabasas. So let's continue to the next story he also posted. Kim can win an award for her acting job with the other partner Narayan. In 2014, the face-to-face meeting for Censorgram was in Calabasas, and at this point she's never even heard the name Kimoji or thought of herself as an emoji. Emojis weren't as big as they are now, keep in mind. All went well for the Censorgram part. We discussed shares, what platforms we want to bring this to, legal stuff like us getting them our file with our provisional US patent info for the process we created, etc., etc. Her team signed our NDA for that. The importance of this comes up when we talk more about Censorgram later. Then at the end of the meeting we pitched the mock-up Kimojis, and Kim absolutely loved the idea. Kimoji became all that mattered. We agreed to split 50/50 on Kimoji. After the meeting we received a call and were told by Kim's team that we needed to be coached to handle working with an A-list celebrity. This gets extra scandalous during this few-week period of time following the meeting. My family and I are on cloud nine with the thought of our new agreement with Kim and all the success we'd have together. Then out of the blue Kim contacts us and asked if we trademark Kimoji, and everything was good, that they would go ahead and do that to be helpful. Literally 5 minutes later Kim calls and is shocked, asking who's Ryan, and all distraught. Apparently without my knowledge one of our partners took a picture of some words on a page that Kim used in our Censorgram app. No user handle or private info. Just a little clip of a screenshot to brag privately between him and a friend. Well, this friend was jealous and actually had a friend in Chicago that knew someone in Kim and Kana's world. Narayan's friend Alice Gorodsky is friends with Gene Brusilovsky, and he's close to Jonathan Chebin, who is obviously friends with Kim. They intentionally sent the screenshot in hopes it would interfere. It did. Gene admitted to this at a party in Chicago, and how it was done intentionally to hurt Narayan potentially and disrupt the partnership with Kardashian. Kim backed out and threatened to sue us for $5 million if we didn't hand over Kimoji rights and give her the ability to do her own comment control app, which blocked our patent hopes. The Kimoji trademark was filed by Kim's company 5 minutes after her staged phone call. So to be clear, she called us and asked if we trademarked Kimoji, stating all was a go-ahead. Sounding excited. Then 5 minutes later, after her team secured the trademark, she called us asking who is Ryan and why is he spreading her info. Which nothing of that sort was ever done. This is fraud through and through. She's gotten away with it until now because she's incredibly wealthy. Aside from this, a few years later we noticed Instagram added the process we created for Censorgram to their settings. After their CEO at the time, Kevin Systrom, told Kim clearly they wouldn't use that type of comment control. Kim, Kana, and former IG CEO used to hang out. There's media out there of them all. Kana at that time was wanting to fix Instagram. This is all why it's extra shady because of that relationship, and then going to IGHQ to discuss this. She's never answered for any of this. This is the next pictures he showed, and that is a conversation he had at that time. Then he continued with, shortly after we noticed Instagram using our process, we found some very alarming evidence in our old emails. Remember when Kim called us asking who's Ryan and why is he sending her info around Chicago? Well, she damn well knew who Narayan was. I introduced him in the email as Narayan, and she replied nice to meet him as Ryan. Several instances back then their team referred to Narayan as Ryan. So that means she knew of this before we signed their NDA at the meeting in CA. She kept this in her pocket to use against us and lured us in to get our common control app, Censorgram. Then she got Kimoji too and wasn't even expecting that part. I'll add more about our last attorney Robert Hampman, but he told me to withdraw the lawsuit and try to see where arbitration goes. That's where. And no one knows why Hampman suggested that. I went in dead over that lawsuit. So now I'm getting creative and I won't shut up about it. He also started talking about can I rapping about the Kimoji app. We had several emoji projects already started before we met Kim. Wall Street emojis and a sexy emojis app. So we just took some existing images and then did some of her Chris and Canai for fun to see if they'd like the idea. Kimoji was just a side project idea we added to impress her. We figured she would be excited to see it and do that project while we develop Censorgram. I'll elaborate more on how that turned into the Kimoji idea later. Back to the fraud for the Kimoji trademark. So because Kim didn't want a partner, she used that harmless screenshot meant to be private to threaten us and cause internal turmoil. We had no idea what was going on. The threatening letter from Martin Singer's office had me shaking as I had something to lose then. The threat made it seem like we really messed up. With all the parties involved, it took a bit to understand what they were even talking about. Come to find out, a different attorney I had looked at this said the statute they said we supposedly violated in the threat from Singer wasn't applicable to what we supposedly even did. This whole thing was a complete sh*t show, and Kardashian/Jenner made tons of money for years off of it. I lost everything. She could have said, in light of this thing with Narian, I'd like to part ways and buy the Kimoji trademark. Done and done. We would have walked and kept pushing our Censorgram app. Without securing the patent for the process, it was dead. Then the entire investment was gone. Legal fees for this and the patent was wasted. Personal issues and lack of funds stemming from all this has made a comeback refiling of the lawsuit incredibly hard. Here in Cannes, I saw facts where he says, plus Kimoji just shut down the App Store, we made $1 million a minute. It's really tough to avoid getting triggered when they are everywhere on TV and music. On to Censorgram and how Kim interfered with a talk we had with a shark from Shark Tank, the TV show. She said she knew this person personally and would talk to them. I have the email proving this, putting her on the spot, but it also includes the shark, so I may hold off on adding that name for now. Wow, guys. That is a very long story that David put on the website. It doesn't look like he is done posting everything and showing more proof. His story is going viral on TikTok with all the people giving their opinions. He ends his story with that he doesn't like asking for money, but the people were asking how to help so he can continue and get more attention. And then he put a donate button at the bottom of the website. The Kardashian keep coming back with more and more drama. What do we think of his side of the story? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next video.